on. Hey, everybody. Trying to get my mic working properly. What's up, Ryan? Hey, Tom. Good to see you guys. Is that coming through clear? Eric. Hey, Ryan. Love the channel. Been following for a few months now. My wallet would like to talk to you, though. So would my wife's. Ain't that the truth? Let me know if you can hear me. I having headset issues for some reason. Dustin, what's going on? Good to see you. Hey, Brian is here. What's going on? Good to see you. Everybody, that's Brian from Just the Disc. Make sure that you follow his podcast and his YouTube channel. He is doing the Lord's work consistently. All right. We are going to get right into it. Lots going on this week. Obviously, big announcement from Severin. A couple other smaller announcements, but everybody and their mom has been talking about Severin all week. So we're going to get some other reactions now that everybody's calmed down a little bit on that. It's been a few days. Yes, Brian Sauer is obviously amazing. He's also from the Pure Cinema podcast. I've been listening to him for years, literally at this point. All right, let's just break right into it. Last week, Thursday night, we left off. Everybody in the chat had been talking about how Drop Dead Fred was suddenly gone from Severin. And this is what I ended up seeing as soon as we got done with our stream last week. So at this moment, it appears Severin cannot release Drop Dead Fred as planned. Lots of speculation right now. We do not have any final answers on where this is coming from. They do say that it's coming from someone else. They also say that it's coming. Their exact words were from the Next Best label, which a lot of people have speculated would be Vinegar Syndrome. To me, I don't think it's going to be Vinegar Syndrome. They have not done very much with Universal. I am kind of expecting a Shout Select release. If it were me speculating fully, I kind of think that's the way we're going to end up seeing this. But as of right now, if you did purchase, if you did pre-order Drop Dead Fred from Severin, they have started refunding people. And you'll get $25 back if you ordered that bundle. And in the meantime, Severin also lost their release of Cruel Jaws. Jaws 5 has been removed from their website, and that was a big deal because they sold that for over a year. I mean, they weren't selling with the Jaws 5 slipcover for over a year, but their release of Cruel Jaws was on their website, and they also had their Hulk Hogan impersonator handkerchief and their water gun and the big toilet sticker they sold with it in that bundle. Shamefully, yes, I have them all. They are amazing. It's one of my favorite parts of Severin that they're able to put out this merchandise at the same time as these movies. So hopefully we get an answer from that soon. A lot of people don't know this if you have not been collecting for a long time. But originally, back in, I want to say 2014, Scream Factory actually announced that they were going to be releasing Cruel Jaws in one of their famous double feature Blu-rays. It was going to be that and, I think it was The Eliminators, something like that. And before they could even release it, they were forced to pull it. Universal made them pull the entire release down. They were never able to release it. And that double feature, we got to see the cover art, but that never came out. Dustin managed to get one of the last copies of Cruel Jaws on Amazon before they sold out. Nicely done. They are going amazingly for a lot of money on eBay already. Something that last week you could have got brand new, straight from the source for less than $30 is going for 3 times that. And to be honest, it's the initial fervor. If you are really wanting it, let it die down a little bit. They will probably be for sale for a lot less here very quickly. But let's see what else the week brought for us. Kino announced over the weekend that The Crime of the Century was going to be coming, another one of their classics. This is coming from a 2018 4K scan. Sure to be nice. No release date on that one yet. And let's see. Kino also announced New Year's Evil is coming. This is one of the Scream Factory titles from MGM that went out of print. John, what's going on? How you doing? I saw you tag me in a tweet. I'm going to be responding to that. I was at Cub Scouts with my kid when I got that. So yes, one of the other MGM out of print titles from Scream Factory, Kino has picked up New Year's Evil, and it's coming on a brand new 2K Master. So this is something that the Scream Factory release of this had been gone for a while now. And just in case you didn't have that and you wanted to upgrade, this is getting a new scan, which is kind of surprising for a title like this. You see this, it will have newly commissioned artwork, reversible art of the original poster, which is this, and all of the previously produced extras from the Shout Factory release and more. That is a big deal. If Kino is able to be negotiating brand new features on some of these out-of-print MGM titles, some of these Scream Factory releases were going for a pretty penny on the secondhand market, and I could see them coming down in value pretty quickly if we are able to get brand new features. And I got to admit, Brian, I love New Year's Evil 2. I haven't seen it in a few years, but this is one that this is one of those I watch every year on the holiday that it's named after titles for me. That actually might be a good idea for a video. Get all of the titles that you watch every year, like obviously Friday the 13th, but then, there's Leprechaun. There is, for some reason, I've grown fond of watching Jaws on the 4th of July every year, New Year's Evil, My Bloody Valentine. There's all kinds of them that you could really sync up if you really wanted to. Too bad there's nothing for Halloween, eh? What else? After that, if you are into premiums, over this last weekend, we got sight of this super nice Grindhouse double feature premium steelbook coming from Nova Media. This is going to be very limited, and these tend to sell out pretty quickly, but this set looks gorgeous. And if you love either one of these titles, there are group buys available for this now if you are a part of any of the group buy sites. And my only worry is that if we are finally seeing some Tarantino titles on 4K, it's not necessarily out of the realm of possibility that we get this one in 4K in the next couple of years. How much have I gotten from Nova Media? Don't know them really. I've gotten a few. In fact, I might be able to reach over and grab one. This is one I unboxed on the channel. Let me make this a little bigger. This is the Nice Guys. This is one of those super big one-click sets. Really nice, super hardcover. But the big thing is that just like all of the other premiums, one of these is open. They come with multiple editions. This is the lenticular. Hopefully that's coming through okay. Surprisingly, these really expensive ones, the lenticular on these are much better than the lenticulars that you see on like Best Buy releases, or even, not to shame them, I love them and all, but some of the Vinegar Syndrome lenticulars are never this good. These lenticulars are super deep. The 3D effect is incredible. And then on the back of every release, it comes with this little credit card that's got the limited edition number. And it's, I don't know if I can show this, it is actually a card attached. There you go. See some texture there. And then on the inside of all of these, you can see how thick that is. You have the entire steelbook. This is the actual housing for the movie. And all of this is all debossed. Everything is imprinted in, even the small right here on the guys. And then the art on the back is really well done. This is another title I'd love to see in 4K. But then on top of the steelbook, it also comes with a poster. This is a full, it might even be, nope, single-sided poster of the art on the front. And then it also has fancy book. Pretty amazing, stellar releases from these guys. And if you buy the one-click, you get that version of it. Then you also get this other version, which is just a full slip of the same steelbook. And then this one. And this is the double-sided art with each of the characters. And the cool thing about these, when you get the one-click, all of the cards are all numbered the same. Of course, it's the same set. And then you also get this fancy, this is limited to the one-clicks, comes with a little Nice Guys picture frame. Pretty amazing, if I do say so myself. I'll set this to the side and put that away after. Yeah, Nova is great. And the big thing is these are expensive. I got this half off. They have a sale, I believe, every I think it's a winter sale every December, and I got it for about half price. And the shipping, because it's coming from Korea, is pretty outrageous. It's like $30, but the whole package there when it's brand new is like $120 because you're buying 3 versions of the movie, and it actually comes out during the halfway sale for one of those to be about 40 or $50 less, and that wasn't too bad. Got it a couple years back. They're pretty nice. I do have a couple from them. But yes, Nova is impressive in terms of the premium market. So let me get this added again. So you can see the way this is going to show up is that each of these movies are going to be in this entire one click, and it's going to be opening. And knowing Nova, I'm willing to bet this sleeve here that you see is probably going to be magnetic. Hold it all together. And then we've got a whole bunch of postcards. We've got, let me see if I can make this a little bigger. Lenticular full slip, a regular full slip. This is the inside of the steel book. And then there is a 36-page book and 52-page production notes. Really nice release. Gonna be very nice. I would suggest looking into it if you've been interested in premiums ever. We'll get into Severin in just a minute, of course. Earlier this week, I released all the boutique labels that I collect, part 2. I am releasing part 3 of that tomorrow, I believe it's scheduled for. There's still a lot more to go. I've already had a few people comment there's some boutiques they'd never even heard of on there. Just wait. The first half of my collection is not the obscure half. The second half is where we dive into the way less tread upon territory. And that's where I'm hoping that we can get some eyes on these lesser known companies, get them some support. Speaking of that, how about everybody, if you could, why don't you comment with your most underrated label, something that's not huge, like Scream Factory, Arrow, Kino, Blue Underground, Severin, Criterion, obviously, anything like that. What's your lower, smaller size label that is your favorite so far? And in the meantime, I'll keep going. We also got announced a big one, in my opinion, from Tempe Digital. This is Shock Cinema, and this is going to be the first time on Blu-ray, limited to 500. The autographed version is limited to 500 units, and it is already shipping next week. This is coming from the Make Flick shop. This is all 4 classic volumes in a 2021 restoration from the archival tapes and the Super VHS edit. Nearly 2 hours of vintage extras, which is really cool. And there's a heavy-duty slipcover that is autographed by Brink Stevens. Really, really interesting set, in my opinion. Tom's asking what time tomorrow on the video. Usually I try to go about 11 a.m. Central, somewhere around there. Mondo is Brian's favorite. Are you saying Mondo Vision or Mondo the art company? Because there's technically kind of 2. Oh, and there's Mondo Macabro too. There might even be another Mondo. That name has been used a lot, obviously. John says Mondo Macabro or Unearthed. I have watched an Unearthed film in this last week. I watched a Mondo title just a couple weeks ago. I love both of those, absolutely. Yeah, Mondo Macabro is one that not enough people get some eyes on, and I think that's going to be one of the ones that I'm doing my label guides on here soon. So back to Shock Cinema, Brink Stevens is going to be autographing 500 of these, and this also comes with a bonus soundtrack CD with unreleased music by Matthew Jason Walsh. And this is going to have interviews with Fred Olen Ray, Charles Band, Scott Spiegel, Forrest J. Ackerman, David DeCateau. There is all kinds of stuff on here, and it's all 4 of the original volumes together in one set, and they are selling this, even the autograph version, it's less than $25. John asked if I watched Evil Dead Trap. Not yet. I just got that this last week, and I had scheduled to watch one of the Ryan Nicholson films. I mean, this is ridiculous, but I made my wife watch Hanger, which if any of you have ever seen it, Hanger is notoriously known for being one of the most offensive movies. There is a scene in Hanger where the antagonist drugs somebody and then penetrates a colostomy port, and it's rather disgusting. But that's Unearthed Films for you. To go backwards, Just the Disc says Arbelos or Garage House are both fun. Garage House, I really hope they continue. I have not heard anything from them in a long time. There's another vote. There's another one for Arbelos, mostly because of San Tango. Yep, that's a big deal over the last year for a lot of people. And Dustin Lewis, man, I would have to agree with this one. Third Window Films is vastly underrated. Most of their stuff, obviously, is coming from Region B. Do I have anything within reach? No, it's on the other side. But they put out some really good stuff. They also have that Takashi Toyota Volume 2 set, the newer set, the more modern set that is coming out in, I believe, November. Looks great. Available to pre-order right now on Diabolic. And yeah, Shock Cinema. There's behind-the-scenes footage also with makeup effects secrets from Murder Weapon, Robot Ninja, Skinned Alive, and Ghoul School. Man, this set is so 90s. I love it. Not enough, in my opinion, not enough love goes into the 90s in horror. We get a lot for 70s and 80s with a lot of these boutique labels. John says Cauldron Films, completely agree. I believe Wave 3 has started shipping. Hoping to get mine here this week, probably. Yes, we all need more Third Window. I really, really hope they can step up over this next year. And yeah, Garage House has been quiet. I thought they were putting out another one of their trailer trauma releases. Hopefully that ends up coming still. Okay, and then after Shock Cinema, Kino kept the classics coming. And there's actually 3 titles here. They announced 3 W.C. Fields titles: The Bank Dick, It's a Gift, and The Old Fashioned Way. Out of all these, I believe I've only seen one. But if you've ever seen a W.C. Fields movie, they're pretty dang funny. And obviously they're classics. I mean, the year on these, 1934 on the first 2, and then The Bank Dick is 1940. Yes, Film Detective has been doing some great stuff recently. They just announced, actually, they're probably shipping in the next couple of weeks, a couple that I was really looking forward to. I hope more people are paying attention to them because they deserve any attention that they can get right now. We're going to come back to that one, obviously. We finally got a release date. Kino announced that the Invasion of the Body Snatchers on 4K is now slated for November 23rd. And it seems like they're doing a lot more slipcovers on their releases now. And to me, this looks great. It fits in perfect with their other 4K titles. I'm digging the old classic style artwork on the inside. It's not as over the top as the Scream Factory art, but I love it. I honestly wish that we could get more like this. I think it looks very classy for that movie. Brian says he's excited for the Fields Blu-rays. It's a Gift is maybe my favorite comedy. Wow, nice. That's a very high accolades for somebody like you. I love it. The Fields titles kind of caught me off guard. I did not expect them to announce 3 at once. It's kind of like they did with Mae West when they, gosh, on one day I think they announced 8 Mae West titles. Might have even been 9. This Kino release, though, in 4K, and it's getting Dolby Vision HDR, which a lot of people have been worried about with Kino titles, primarily because The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly did not get HDR. It was only remastered with SDR, which is fine. It didn't really need the color grading. It still looks amazing in 4K. But this continues their stellar streak, in my opinion, of 4K. We've got Hannibal had HDR, and so did Spaceballs. All of them, besides The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, have all gotten HDR at this point. And of course, this is coming with the 4K and the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray specifically is also the newly restored 4K master. This is still going to be an upgrade, even if you have the old Scream Factory disc, which it looked good. The Scream Factory release was not a bad release. It was a little muddled, primarily in the earlier parts of the film. I am excited to see how this one can improve on it. Undoubtedly, I think they're definitely going to be able to improve on it. But this is one that I can't wait for. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I absolutely love this movie. I don't understand how this one still doesn't get raved about all the time. This is one, I mean, Jeff Goldblum comes out of nowhere in this movie, looking amazing, acting over the top, ever so slightly, but has not come into classic Jeff Goldblum yet. And they are putting all kinds of special features on here. They've got, I believe, most, if not all, of the Scream Factory special features on this. And the Scream Factory one has been going consistently for $60+ now. So this is going to be a massive improvement. You're going to be able to get this one undoubtedly for around $30. Cannot wait to get this release. And then just today, we got a couple new announcements from Eureka. We got I Never Cry coming. This one is coming in October. This is a more modern movie that I got to be honest, I hardly know anything about. Mostly just what I looked at today. This is 17-year-old Ola travels to Ireland to bring her father's body back to Poland after he died working on a construction site. But never mind her dad, Ola wants to know if he saved money for the car he had promised. In a foreign country, all by herself, Ola will have the trip of her lifetime, a journey into the unknown on which she will try to reconnect with her estranged father. In Ireland, she will come to know a different world and meet people who will change her approach to life. Seems like a fairly grieving, coming of age film. Sounds very interesting, at least. But then the big one they announced today is The Great Silence. This is another Sergio Corbucci Western. Obviously, he is the director of Django. This one famously stars Klaus Kinski. And this is, some people consider this his magnum opus, even over Django. This is getting one of the Eureka famous slipcover limited editions as part of the Masters of Cinema series. And that will only have 3,000 copies and comes with a reversible poster and a set of lobby cards like a lot of their newer releases. Just a heads up, if you do not know or haven't watched the video, if you're wanting some Eureka titles, they always have free shipping, even though they're in the UK. And you could be in Alaska, you can be in Ireland, you can be in Australia. They do free shipping worldwide, even if you're only buying one title. Don't know how they do it, don't know how they continue to make money, but you can't beat that. Free shipping all the time is amazing. If you have never seen The Great Silence, on an unforgiving, snow-swept frontier, a group of bloodthirsty bounty hunters, led by the vicious Loco, who is played by Klaus Kinski, preys on a band of persecuted outlaws who have taken to the hills. Only a mute gunslinger named Silence stands between the innocent refugees and the corrupt killers. In this harsh, brutal world, the lines between right and wrong are not always clear, and good does not always triumph. If you did not see it, I was live on Flip Otaku's channel a couple days ago. We were talking about Westerns. And with Westerns, I tend to be an end of the spectrum kind of person with Westerns. I either love the masterpieces, the top of the top, something like this, or the exact opposite, the trashy, even something like Tremors 4 is the one I brought up on his channel. I love Tremors 4, even though it's not that great and the set looks awful. It is one of my favorites. I love City Slickers. I love Young Guns. And then I love Tombstone and Django and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. All of those are amazing. My problem is the ones that land in the middle. I just cannot find the adoration and appreciation that I would love to have for them. But thankfully, this is one that is firmly on the masterpiece side of things. I can't wait to see this new upgraded version. And then one of, actually, originally, this was introduced to me by Brian Sauer from Just the Disc on his podcast. I had never heard of Golden Age Video, and he brought them up, I believe, talking with Stephanie Crawford on an episode, and I fell for them quickly. And you guys have heard me talking about Golden Ninja many times, I'm sure. I had Ian DeClue from the Golden Ninja Video on for a interview just a few weeks ago here. They announced that they're doing a new 2K scan of Thrilling Bloody Sword. This is the first release they have ever announced where they are doing a new scan. Everything before this has been all public domain titles and all what they could get their hands on. So this is a big deal for them. John Peters says, me too, although I'm excited for the Vengeance Trail set. I got to be honest, I do consider 2 out of 3 of those on the Masterpiece side of things. So I would completely agree with you. And then Angel, I only like those nihilist westerns from Europe. No White Hat Sheriff for me. Yeah, that's where most of mine lies too. I can't get behind John Wayne acting like the victim for a moment and then being the hero for an hour and a half. I just can't do it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Stephanie, hip you to them. That's perfect. This is a big announcement for them. If you've ever considered supporting Gold Ninja Video, this is one that if I may push you to that side, this is where they could really go for the support with their brand new 2K scan. They just recently had an Indiegogo where they raised enough money to have a brand new film scanning machine purchased for them. And they just deserve all the love. They've been doing so much to show their support for film and getting attention on things that are just plain forgotten and deserve it. And then out of nowhere today, Kino also announced that Charles Bronson and Jack Palance's Chato's Land, I believe is how you say it. I have not heard this in a long time said out loud. This is coming in November, early November, actually. Brand new 2K master. Audio commentary by Howard Berger and Steve Mitchell. Interview with Gerald Wilson. It's got reversible art and the slipcover. They're doing a lot of slipcovers lately, and they are looking really nice on the shelf, I got to admit. This is one where Bronson plays a half-breed Apache who is between 2 cultures. And, of course, he is very clearly indigenous, so that makes sense. Bleeding sarcasm there. And I think, yep, that is it so far for the last week, other than the biggin. And for that, I am now going to be switching over to Severin. Right now, I'm going to be showing off the bundle that is already sold out. But let's get this in here. All right, this is the Witches bundle that is sold out from Severin. Thankfully, they have all of the release information for the box set below, but the bundle itself, this is just amazing to me what they were able to pull off here. Let's go over this. So this was limited to only 500 copies. It includes the box set, a Oracle deck of cards, a Witch Hammer keychain, a folk horror map, Allison's birthday pendant, a melamine plate, the Of Mud and Flame, the Pendisfen source book, and this amazing looking poster. And let's get a up close look at some of these. This is, of course, the big deal here. All the Haunts Be Ours, a compendium of folk horror box set. This is coming for supposedly in time for Christmas. We'll see. Severin has obviously had some problems with this in the past, needing some release date. Angel's asking sold out, but wait for a convention. Most of these things will probably not be available for a convention. The box set itself is not sold out yet, but I got to be honest, I don't see Severin bringing melamine plates to a convention to try to hawk at a Texas Frightmare or something. Yes, Severin is killing it again and challenging Vinegar Syndrome to step up. I kind of think they're challenging everybody to step up. This is what I think is above a Criterion level box set for Criterion over the last couple of years, and easily best anything that Vinegar Syndrome has done, and is pretty close to even the top of the top for Arrow, in my opinion. John's asking, have I pre-ordered September and or October titles yet? If you're talking about Severin, I believe I pre-ordered September, the one that was supposed to include Drop Dead Fred. Not October yet. I'm planning on getting that one, but I don't believe either of those are site exclusive, so I'm waiting to see how that pans out. So this is what the mock-up for the box looks like. These are the Oracle deck of cards. This is not like a tarot card box or anything like that. This is something related to folk horror and the Oracle deck here. Then this is the Owl Service plate. This is a melamine plate. Uh, it looks amazing, I got to be honest. And the fact that it ties into one of the movies is the best part of this for me. And then this is the poster that is coming. And I love this. I have not been able to contain my excitement for this. We'll get into it just a minute, but this is for the documentary that is coming out, and it's called Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched, A History of Folk Horror. And it is, I mean, first of all, it is over 3 hours on the history of folk horror, which, yes, I'm excited for so many of the movies in this box set. It's great. But just like the Al Adamson set, I am most excited for this documentary. I love the Adamson documentary, and this is supposed to be incredible. This has already won multiple awards at multiple festivals over the last year. Angel says, I'm excited for some of the Eastern European titles on the set. Too rich for my blood right now. I don't need the trinkets. I get that. And the box itself is, it's a little less. It's like $170 plus shipping, but shipping is pretty expensive. Speaking of trinkets, they also have this book of Mud and Flame, the Pendas Fen source book. And then I don't know how they're doing this as a keychain. This looks like it would be very pokey as a genuine keychain, but it might look good as part of the collection. Then they're also including this map. To me, this is a really neat idea. This is one that I think would look great framed. I'm not sure if this is double-sided, but if it is not, this is such a cool idea to be able to promote these. You don't think the movie that the plate references is in the set? I believe it's a part of the trailer, unless that is just from the documentary. Huh. I certainly thought it was. But yes, this map is one of my most anticipated parts of all the extras on the bundle. It looks amazing. The art on this is great. And then if you zoom in here, just the fact that they have, you know, all of these things labeled as to where they're taking place, so you can visualize it and see the commingling of the different cultures and the way, you know, religion has affected these things, and folk horror overall, the way it is not so set in the supernatural, but primarily in the very specifically natural, is what makes folk horror amazing for me and makes it something that is so much more relatable. Like V is included in the set, obviously, and there is the end of that movie, and you know they're talking about possession in that film, and there is a lot of some supernatural into some of the folk horror stuff, but a lot of it is primarily based on real beliefs and real traditions, and mostly just exaggerated. And we see that in so many different things. I am just excited to see the way they've built this worldwide tour, essentially, of folk horror in a way that I don't think, to be quite honest, I don't think anybody else could have curated this, especially this year. There's been so much going on this year, and somehow Severin has put up release after release after release, and this is the best of the best. They're publicly working on a Black Emmanuel box set, and we know that's coming. And I mean, theoretically, that still could come throughout the rest of the year. That could be their big Black Friday title. But even if they do, it's not going to top this. There is not very much that could top this, and I don't see anybody else putting out like a Takashi Miike discography complete set or anything like that. So this, to me, is easily going to be the best set at the end of the year. That is, if we get it this year, of course. There is an Allison's birthday pendant, and then this is a still from the dock, and so that is the last of the pictures that are important for the bundle. The pricing on this is where it starts to get steep. So if you are international shipping for the bundle was $100, which is absolutely crazy. Obviously, it is not going to cost them that much to ship this entire bundle. However, I do think they did that mostly as a deterrent to get people to not order it. internationally because they're going to have stuff broken and there's going to be some problems that they're selling overseas. And with Brexit and all of the other things that have happened over the last couple of years with international shipping, I don't necessarily blame them, but I wish they could do more to make it a little easier. That is one plus for Vinegar Syndrome. I don't know how they've done it, but Vinegar Syndrome is able to ship extremely quickly. If you pay attention online, there are people that will say that they're in Norway and they got their shipping notification on a Friday afternoon, and somehow they have their package by like Tuesday morning. That's amazing. Severin will promise us we're going to ship all of the mid-year Black Friday, halfway to Black Friday titles within 6 weeks of our sale. And John Peters here in the chat, who really wants that Black Emmanuel set, he just got his, I believe it was yesterday. That's hard. And yes, I do agree here, John. I do think that's probably a February at the earliest release. And that makes sense. Time Black Emmanuel, Valentine's Day. Spread the love, as it will. So let's look at this box set. First off, this is advertised as December 7th as the street date, and that it will start shipping with their Black Friday sale. I got to be honest, it's going to be hard for them to meet. They do have a lot of lead time, though. This is already next week. It's going to be early September. And this is, 2.5, almost 3 full months. Well, and when they announced it, it was 3 months ahead of when it was going to be coming out. And just over, 3 months and 10 days by the street date, they could get that done, especially now that they're working with MVD. I think they are a lot more on the ball than Cav distributing like they were using. And, oh, that's right. John's book didn't even ship with it. You got that book coming on Tuesday. Yeah, that's a long time to wait for something that you bought in, June, 23rd or whatever it was. It's a long wait. So this is the Compendium of Folk Horror. This is the most comprehensive collection of its kind, with a genre-defining documentary by Kiera Janice called Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched. And then after the documentary, there are 19 of the best known, least known, rarely seen, and thought-lost classics of folk horror. And then for me, this is the most important part of this entire thing, is that it is from around the world. So we have things, not to scroll through too quick here, but we have stuff from, let's see, we're going to go through a handful here. We have the USA, we have Serbia, Czechoslovakia, Soviet Union, Norway, Iceland, Australia. That is literally the entire world. You are going from one corner to the other. For something like folk horror, that is amazing. That is something that you will, the amount of culture that you're able to capture in something like that is just absolutely unparalleled. I can't think of a single other box set that is going to be able to encompass as much as this one has been able to do. And another thing to pay attention on these is the actual release dates. So the documentary, of course, is brand new from 2021. And I'll go over a handful of details. A lot of other people have gone over these to death, so I don't necessarily want to just read you the same thing that have gone out. But the Eyes of Fire is from 1983. You've got 1973. You've got 1970. V is from 67. There's Lake of the Dead from 58. 87. There are some, let's see, what was the oldest one again? I think there was one from the 40s, right? 1963, 1993. A Field in England from Ben Wheatley is coming in this too, 2012. Anchoress from 93. 74 is Pendus Fen. 1970 for Robin Redbreast. I guess not. I could have swore there was one from the 40s. So let's look at some of the details here. This documentary, like I said, just over 3 hours. 3 hours and 12 minutes. Incredible. Not to mention their special features, and that is a common theme in this set. Is these are not just movies, which Severin easily could have done. Put 2 movies on a disc, call it a day. This is a full set. Eric says the globe spanning content definitely helped me pull the trigger. Yes, absolutely. If this had been stuck to one country, I would not have been as easily persuaded as I was and would not have been as impressed as I was. Easily one of the most important parts here. So, like I was getting at, special features abound. Just on the documentary, you've got folk poetry, you've got outtakes, animating folk horror, a video introduction by the writer and director Kiera Janice, and the trailer, of course. That's great. That is also getting a standalone release from Severin, by the way. If you don't want to get the big bundle, that one's coming out by itself. Angel says no folk horror south of the border. I got to be honest, it is something that I pointed out to my wife when I brought up this set the other day. That is something that easily could have been touched on. There are some really good examples and even modern ones that would have fit the bill, in my opinion. It's not necessarily folk, but it could have been close because it touches on the culture behind it. Terrified would have been a really good one. If you've not seen that, that one is on Shudder. Last I checked, that's a very interesting movie. But I agree, it would have been nice to see some from south of the border. Eyes of Fire is also getting a standalone release in case you are not wanting to buy the big box set. This is a big deal because this is one that they had to get the rights from Lionsgate for. And Lionsgate notoriously does not give up rights to anything. So this could be a sign of some things to come, not even just for Severin, but for some other titles. We easily could have seen this be a Vestron title. And perhaps Lionsgate respected the title more than that, and they wanted to see some extra love and care put into this. But thankfully, we are getting a 4K restoration from the original negative on this one. We're also getting audio commentary, Secret in the Trees by Stephen Thrower, which is a big deal. And that is half an hour. So that's not just, a quick little featurette for 5 or 6 minutes before he talks about the next title. This is a big deal. There's a lot of stuff in here. And then the alternate longer cut has also been restored in 2K from the director's personal answer print. Not quite the original camera negative, but as the fact that it's a cut, that was probably not going to be the case anyways. So I'm glad we're getting that. And then there are bonus short films, adding up to almost 40 minutes. That's pretty great. You got The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, 13 minutes, Transformations for almost 10 minutes, and then Backwoods from 2018. That one's 15 minutes. And then we move on. This one's a shorter one. This is from Serbia. This is Leptirica, 65 minutes. This is an HD master from Public Service Media Radio Television of Serbia. I would not expect this one to be crystal clear, brand new restoration. This is one that they clearly fought for and were able to get, but they couldn't go in and restore it themselves, of course. This is based on one of the oldest Serbian vampire stories, which is very interesting to me. And this does include special features still. And these are, there's an interview with the director, but on top of that, short films that are not really short films. We have a 45-minute short film, a 10-minute short film, and then an hour-long short film. I mentioned this on one of Aaron Pinn's streams this week, but Host from Shudder is the producing company behind Host. That movie's not even 60 minutes, and that movie is getting, special edition, limited packaging from Second Sight releases, and we're getting a 60-minute movie just thrown in as a bonus. That is intense. This entire package is so over the top. It's amazing. Then our next disc is Witchhammer. This is 170 minutes from Czechoslovakia in 1970. This is an HD restored master that was supplied by the Czech Film Center. I'm hoping this one looks pretty decent. And that's the thing. If you've seen the trailer, these all look surprisingly great. I expected them to look a lot worse, especially how old some of these are. And you just you have to imagine, the elements for these could not have been preserved as beautifully as they could have, and they're doing great work with them. The cinematography looks great, but the fact that the prints look mostly pristine, and obviously Severin can cherry pick cleaner scenes, so I'm not expecting them to be exactly as good as they look in that trailer, but it genuinely looks really good. This one's coming with an audio commentary, and then on top of that, we have the bonus of a film appreciation by essayist and big fan favorite by me, Kat Ellinger, and then Michael Brook, who is a film historian. That was allowed to be a part of this by Second Run Films. And then the Projection Booth podcast is spending a little over an hour speaking on Witchhammer, and that has guest critics Sam Deegan and Rain Alexander. Gotta love it. There's so much on here. And then the next one, this is V. If you have never seen V, I mean, please remedy that as soon as possible. This movie is something special. I watched V in the last week, and I am probably going to be reviewing it up on the channel here soon. This is one of those ones where everybody spoke so highly of it that I didn't get like hipster about it, but I really didn't want to have it overblown in my mind as something that I was really looking forward to, and then that expectation muddled what I actually felt about it. So I kind of let the hype die down a little bit, and coincidentally, it was right before they announced this. I put it in, and yes, just these are my exact feelings, and I kind of want to read my Letterboxd feeling here, just to sum this up, because this is a movie that is what 54 years old at this point, and to see what they were able to pull up into the film. I only wrote a couple sentences here. I said, this went from good to great at the end. Absolutely incredible climax. Don't need to beat a dead horse, but the special effects in this were astounding. So they do things in this movie that they make it look like they are performing, not just like to a movie camera, but in theater, like live theater. I've gone to Shakespeare in the Park countless times in my life when I was growing up, because I had surprisingly a lot of theater family members that were involved, and it felt like something that they did there to pull off this magical feeling of somebody floating, or having somebody get sucked away by a tornado in Wizard of Oz, or costume changes. And the end of this movie, the things that they are able to pull off on set here, it is crazy. The colors at the end are so bright after what you've seen for most of the movie, and then the sudden barrage of characters that fly off the screen, that climax is really something that I hate to overhype it, just like I worried was going to be coming for me, but the end of this movie is astonishing. If you have not seen V, really look forward to it coming in this box set if you're getting it, or if you already have it, make it a priority. V is great, and if you're on the fence, this is one that I would watch to talk yourself into it. This is something that I am stoked that we have, not just one either. We have Severin that have put it out, and then Eureka, as part of their Masters of Cinema set, they also released this, and both releases look and sound amazing, and it's a fantastic movie. Moving on from there, we have Lake of the Dead from Norway in 1958. This is one of the oldest titles. This is restored in 2K from the original negative, which is a big deal. Almost 80 minutes, and we do have an audio commentary with film historians on that one. And then Tilbury from Iceland from 1987. This one's just shy of an hour, but it is restored in 2K from the original negative at the Film Museum of Iceland. You have to imagine that they put a lot of work into that, and I'm pretty sure this one's going to look pretty great. This one has more special features than I expected, for sure. We get an audio commentary with a director, moderated by a film scholar, another interview, another couple interviews, and then we have a 33-minute student film from the director. And then I don't know how to say this name because I'm not Icelandic, but the director discusses the folkloric origins of white spot in the back of the head, which is his student film that we get there. So just more analysis, more piled on top, and it's, again, this set is something special. Yes, it really does look insane. And it's crazy because each of these discs would be like an event to behold by itself. But the fact that they're able to pile it all together, it's special. And there is a list going around, a letterbox list showing all of the films that were mentioned in the documentary, and it's hundreds long. There could easily be a volume 2 of this box set, but I can't imagine that piling all of the rights together for this was an easy feat for them to pull off. So I don't really see a volume 2 coming, but I sincerely hope we do, because this is like once in a decade type of release, in my opinion. Moving on from there, we get a really special Australian disc here. We get 2 from Australia, both from 1988. We get The Dreaming, and I believe it's pronounced Kadesha. The Dreaming is 90 minutes, and this is restored in 2K from the best surviving 35 millimeter positive print. Usually when they say best surviving, that means there is some issues with the print. It's probably not going to be pristine in any way, but this one sounds really great. So let me go over that. When a group of indigenous activists attempt to repatriate ancestral artifacts found in a cave on Australia's Kangaroo Island, one of them is shot evading police and taken to a local hospital. When the patient dies in her care, the doctor attending to her experiences strange visions relating to violent events from the past. That just sounds captivating. One of the reasons that I loved The Nightingale so much was the clash of indigenous and mainstream culture there. And to see those come together like that in something filmed in 1988 just sounds great. And Australia has had a kind of, we'll say, spicy history with the indigenous people, obviously, as I say, as a very white male, just like North America has, and North America is still having. I mean, we have, just like Aaron Pinn brought up this week, the mass grave sites of indigenous people that they're finding in Canada. We have, obviously, the various multiple checkered spots in the past of the United States with the Trail of Tears and smallpox and everything else. This is one that I am really looking forward to watching. And then Kadesha, I believe is how it's pronounced, from 88. This one's 88 minutes. And this is mastered from the only surviving broadcast quality video master. So this one is probably going to be a lower quality tier, though this is one that also sounds very interesting and does have quite a bit of special features here. The synopsis here: though conceived as a commercial horror film, this tale of teens being condemned to death in their dreams by an Aboriginal magician as recompense for a housing development having been built on a sacred burial ground also serves as an admission of national guilt. So this is like widespread poltergeist going on, basically. And I can't wait. Australian film is one that I really love. But then on top of all that, special features here. We get an audio commentary moderated by Michael Helms from Fatal Visions. We get a audio interview with actress Zoe Caritas, and that was conducted by film historian Jarrett Gahan, and that is 13 minutes. And then audio interview with the composer, that's almost 20 minutes. And then behind the scenes too. I mean, there's just so much that goes into this. And then there's even more Australia. Celia from 1989, 103 minutes. That's about 1950s Australia. And we get more than an hour of special features on that one. And then the big title from Australia, Allison's Birthday. This is one that has been mentioned for quite a few years, and this is being restored in 2K from the 16 millimeter elements, getting its first official release since the VHS era. This Australian paranormal cult is unearthed. During a Ouija board session with her teenage friends, 16-year-old Allison gets a message from beyond the grave not to go home for her 19th birthday. Fast forward 3 years later to the week of her 19th, she gets a call from her mother that they're having a party to celebrate and they want her there alone. This is one that I have wanted a good release for quite some time. And we do get extended interviews from Not Quite Hollywood, but also one of the things that interests me most on any of these discs, The Devil Down Under, Satanic Panic in Australia, from Rosaline Norton to Allison's Birthday. I had no idea that Australia had fought a satanic panic just like the US did. One of the things that I've loved researching myself is the era of satanic panic in the U.S. and everything that we went through. I grew up I grew up in a small town in California, and one of its claim to fames was during the first couple years of the Clinton administration. I think it was 94. Al Gore's wife actually started this thing. I don't know how many of you will remember this, but against CDs that had the parental advisory on the front of it. And they did this big thing at, I believe it was at the Walmart or some other convenience store in the town I grew up in. And it got like national exposure for some reason. And it was consistently spoken with in regards to the idea of satanic panic because of what they were talking about. And I've just always loved that concept. So it's something that I've always been fascinated with. Moving on from there, we get the words that are a little more difficult to say as they are Polish. We get this title, Wilczyca, from Poland in 1983. This is restored in HD from the original negative, which I'm hoping will look pretty good. And this does have an interview with the director. And another one from Poland from 1970 that was restored in HD from the original negative. This is Locus, a manuscript of Professor Wittenbach. And we get an interview with the director there as well. And then a big one, we get a Canadian title here, Clear Cut from 1991, restored in 4K from the 35 millimeter answer print. This one is getting archival video introduction by the director and an audio commentary, plus bonus short films that are 10 minutes, and then the 32-minute one as well. And then Consume at the end here is 20 minutes. There's also an audio commentary there. We're only 2/3 through this set, and I already feel like it is over the top incredible. We got Disc 10 from Italy in 1963, Il Demonio, 98 minutes restored from the original negative. This has an audio commentary by Kat Ellinger. We get a almost 30-minute newly commissioned video essay by Tim Lucas, which is going to be amazing. And then Brunello Rondi biographer Alberto Pizzolta looks at Il Demonia and the themes that dominated the director's eclectic career. And then a reissue from Severin that is not V, that some people were a little confused on at first. This is Dark Waters. This is from a collaborative group that was a part of Russia, UK, Ukraine, and Italy from '93. This is one that Severin put out previously that I forgot to grab. Let me grab it. Okay. So this is the original Severin release of Dark Waters. You've probably seen, get this in here, that very clear art on their website before. Now, there's a reason you may want to hold on to this old title. This release is coming with audio commentary with the director and Deep into the Dark Waters, a 50-minute cast and crew recalling the making of archival documentary featurette. But this original release comes with that audio commentary and then a featurette called Lovecraft Made Me Do It, and then Let There Be Water featurette, Controlling the Uncontrollable featurette, and then it also includes the Deep into the Dark Waters, and then there's a director's introduction, deleted scenes, bloopers, and short films of the director. There is a lot on this that they lost for this set. This is one that kind of sad that this is being ported over, but is being hacked apart. V is still remaining pretty much intact, but Dark Waters is definitely being torn apart here. John says Il Demonia is one that you really want to see. I agree. It looks really good. And then let's see, that one was Italy, correct? Yes. So disc 10 is the Italian disc, and that's a really good one. I agree. let's go over the synopsis for that one again. So this is Il Demonio, the one that John was pointing out. A stunning story of obsessive love set in a rural southern Italian village where Christianity has integrated many of the old superstitious beliefs. Dahlia Lavi, the whip in the body, plays Purif, who is distraught when her lover is betrothed to another. Her erratic behavior is interpreted as demonic possession, of course, leading the villagers to turn against her with physical and sexual violence. This is from 1963. Really curious to see how they took that story. It's going to be a fun one, I'm sure. Then we move on to disc 11. This is a fairly new movie. This is a Field in England. This was released in the US previously under Dark House Films, which has been out of print for a while. This was also released in the UK by Eureka, and so we are finally getting a new release of this title. I'm almost surprised that this didn't get a standalone release since it's so new and has genuinely gotten a lot of praise on this one. Just in case you have not heard of it before, A Field in England is from the UK in 2012, 90 minutes long, and this one is by Ben Wheatley. And it says, during the Civil War in 17th century England, a small group of deserters flee from a raging battle and are captured by an alchemist who forces them to help him find a hidden treasure. Crossing a vast mushroom circle, which provides their first meal, the group succumbs to the terrifying energies trapped inside the field. This is a wild one. I watched this one a while back, and it is one that I had to get on Draft House Films. It is really good. A bit of an outlier in the set, but I'm very interested to hear more people talk about it, and I'm sure it will get a lot more attention now that it's a part of this box set. That one comes with an audio commentary. There's an hour-long episode with Kiera Janice and Ben Wheatley, 45 minutes. Then there is the Music of a Field in England featurette and Ben Wheatley in conversation with Pete Toombs interview, and then camera tests. And then another UK film. Good gosh, they just keep coming here. We get Anchoress from 1993. This one is almost 2 hours long, mastered in HD. This one gets a new video essay, and Anchoress director Chris Newby documents the location of the Anchoress, which is very interesting. I love when they do the updated. I'm very tired. Yes, Draft House Films, rest in peace. I completely agree. So overlooked in their time. The locations is what I was getting at here. I love when we get updated locations or looks at where things were filmed. If you have a lot of the Scream Factory discs, I love the Horrors Hollowed Ground that Sean does on a bunch of those discs. Like the Night of the Creeps one he did. It's exhaustive. You go with him and you see everywhere that they filmed that movie, and it's great. Everything about it is just astonishing to see how it's changed. There's some, and he's got all these up on YouTube, by the way. He's got a YouTube channel called Malfunk Sean. Let me spell that out here in the chat in case you want to look it up. That is the name of his YouTube channel, and he does some really good work with finding things that were previously thought just lost forever. He'll take one shot and see this random building in the background and look at the year it was and what construction has gone on since then, and prove that where he's standing is where they filmed something in, Halloween 5. It is crazy the amount of work he's able to put into that. All right, then we are in, I believe this is, yes, the last disc of movies in this set. Disc 12. From the UK, we get Penda's Fen, 1974. This one is 90 minutes, mastered in HD. This is a big title. This is one that a lot of people have talked about. There's an audio commentary and then a documentary on the making of the drama that is called The Landscape of Feelings. That is 16 minutes. And then there's a short film called The Pledge, which is 22 minutes from 1982. And this one is one, because people have talked about it for so long, I think a lot of people have heard about it, so I'll share the synopsis anyway. Alan Clark directs David Rudkin's epic tale of myth and identity, whereby a sanctimonious vicar's son has a spiritual and sexual awakening after being visited by a series of angels, gargoyles, and the ghosts of Edward Elgar and a long-dead pagan king. Penda's Fen is the most magical of all British folk horror films, what scholar Sudkev Sandhu called a lasting vision of heresy and pastoral horror. As somebody, I can't remember if it was on this stream or over on Flips a couple weeks ago that we were talking about religious horror, but somebody that grew up around religion and having it surrounding me, I am always astonished to see some of these movies and how they take that supernatural set of beliefs and apply it to a life and make you feel something, even if you truly don't believe in it. And I love that aspect of it. So this is one that I'm really looking forward to seeing. I've never been able to see. Dustin pre-ordered this last night. Nice. Happy for you. That's great. This is going to be easily the best Christmas present I can get if it comes out before then. And then we get the last one in this set, the last film. This is Robin Redbreast from 1970 in the UK. Just over an hour and 15 minutes long. This is veteran British chiller writer John Bowen penned this legendarily terrifying BBC teleplay, now considered a precursor to The Wicker Man. That alone should make you really want to see this, but to go further into that, Nora Palmer moves to a quiet village in England after a breakup. The locals are warm enough at first, but their sinister intentions are gradually revealed. Is Nora paranoid, or is she the center of a wicked pagan plot of indescribable horror? Fantastic. It reminds me a lot of some of the ideas of Rosemary's Baby, and obviously the Wicker Man, and tons of other things. Gosh, it's so hard to just say this sounds fantastic and amazing over and over, but this set is astonishing. So that also includes another short film and an interview and an audio commentary, just like all these other ones. But then we even get the soundtrack for the documentary on a CD, and then The White People by Arthur Macon, read by Linda Hayden, and music by Timothy Fife and missionary work. This is a short story first published in 1904, in which a discussion between two men on the nature of evil leads to the revelation of a mysterious green book, the diary of a young girl, in which he describes her initiation into a secret world of folklore and magic. Here, the story is brought vividly to life with an incredible reading by Linda Hayden, who is from Blood on Satan's Claw, and a remarkable original score. Just astonishing. I mean, what else is there to say? So many people have talked about it this week, but this set is so packed to the gills. And then, of course, on top of that, there's a 126 plus page book that is curated by the director of the documentary. I can't wait. Overall, it looks amazing. Not a lot more that can be said about it. Other than the people that have already said they're pre-ordering it, is there anybody that's turned off by this, or anything about this that makes you feel like you don't want to see it? Me personally, I'm extremely impressed with it. I cannot wait to see if they're able to follow this up with anything remotely close to this prestigious. Okay, so we went over announcements for this last week. We went over the big Severin announcement. I've got a couple more things, and then I'm going to do an unboxing and show some pickups that I got this week. One thing to share is my oldest, even though I've only been doing this for a few weeks now, my oldest is starting Cub Scouts that is meeting on Thursday nights. So I am going to be pushing this back to starting half an hour later at 8:30 p.m. on Thursdays, Central Time. So be prepared for that starting next week. But also, speaking of my 6-year-old, he was in a video that I put out just a few weeks ago that a lot of people loved, that he mentioned that he wanted to see merch for the channel. And funny enough, I did it. I started a merch site for Disconnected. I'm not going to be pushing it or anything like that, but he wanted a shirt, and I'm not just going to make one for him. So if anybody is interested, it is in the description of all the videos. And I think there's some pretty tastefully designed ideas here. It's got the logo for the channel. It's got tote bags, some t-shirts. The hoodie is especially nice. And then what I'm really digging This mug is perfect because it's all black with the logo there. And to go with some of the common things, I've got, this is one of my special ones. The front of the shirt says, "From one collector to all of you." And the back says, "Have a good night," with the logo. I love it. It's in every one of my videos. It will always be there. And then I also have this, I think it looks great on this tote, "The Evolution of Physical Media." A very common theme, but something that is very important to me because I've evolved right along with it. And this is listed from what we are currently seeing on the breakthrough side of things all the way back to the very beginning. And yeah, I love it. Plus, it's got the logo for the channel there at the bottom, just describing the community that we've got. And then if you really want it, I mean, you got to have a fanny pack, right? Disconnected fanny pack. Amazing. So again, I will not be hawking it that often. If you ever want to look at it, the link is in the description. I also wanted to share that we do have some exciting things coming out literally next week. Let me pull up my calendar here. Anybody else getting amazing pickups this week? Let me pull this up. Release calendar. Man, we are already in September. That's crazy. The other big thing is we are getting to the point where it's time to start looking at top 10 physical media releases for the year. It is going to be a bloodbath this year. I don't understand how we're going to be able to narrow some of these down, sincerely. Last year was what a lot of us talked about as the peak in physical media. And there are so many things this year that have, in my opinion, peaked over some of those even. All right, I'm getting the calendar pulled up for Blu-ray releases. It took forever for some reason. Let's see, release calendar. All right, let me share my screen. Yes, John says top 10 lists are impossible, especially for this year. 100% agree. All right, now we are sharing, correct? Yes. All right, so next week is September 7th. We have a lot of ads. Come on. We have the biggest one for me is The Thing in 4K. If you're a Steelbook person, this The Thing 4K Steelbook is exclusive to Best Buy. And if you are unable to purchase it right now, don't fret. It will be available day of from Best Buy. We also have more standalone Hitchcock titles coming to 4K next week. We've got Rear Window and Vertigo also coming in Steelbook at Best Buy. Then Zack Snyder's Justice League coming into Steelbook as well. The Star Trek Original 4-movie collection in 4K. 4K is really going to have a great week next week. There's so many titles. Those re-releases of the Vincent Price titles are coming. We've got Theater of Blood and The Tomb of Ligeia. Full Moon is putting out Crazy Nights next week. And then we are getting Scream 2 and 3 next week. I believe we're getting the other two the following week or the week after. But those are all coming soon. And then, of course, Scream is coming in 4K. There's some other smaller titles here for next week. But then September 14th, we are starting to see some other big ones like Mona Lisa from Criterion, Shawshank Redemption in 4K, Highlander in 4K, and then, of course, Alone in the Dark from Scream. That should be shipping here this next week or so if you pre-ordered from them. This Cold War Creatures box set from Arrow is coming, and lots more. Again, just an absolutely great time for physical media. But let's get into the fun stuff. Let's talk about some pickups and a Vinegar Syndrome and partner label unboxing. I'm going to go my most eclectic pickup for the week. This is one, if you watched my room tour video, this is one that you did not see because I just got this in the last week. And if you saw a few of my releases, I've got They Live and John Carpenter memorabilia and a bunch of other things. I got a set of custom coasters from They Live that are going to be up around the movie room. And it is a 4-pack. And I've got Obey, of course, Consume, Sleep, and then the one that my kid had to ask me what it meant, Marry and Reproduce. Gotta love it. They're great, nice white with the pure black font on there. Hilarious. They're gonna look great. Some pickups that were not a part of my Vinegar Syndromes. I had a really good week for trades, just getting rid of either old releases that I've upgraded or even a couple duplicates. I got the Mondo Macabro DVD release of Sins of Sister Lucia, or Sins of Sister Lucia, however you say it. I've heard it both ways. I am trying to get all of the old Mondo Macabro DVDs, but I did not have this one. This is one that's getting a little difficult to find. Let me see, any nudity? Nope. Unfortunately, it does have a little UPC punch on the back, but for some reason, a lot of them did. Let's see. Another trade I got, the Arrow Blu-ray release of Pitch Black. I'm one of those basically stupid collectors trying to get all of the slipcovers from Arrow, and I had the 4K release of this. I did not have the blue. This is the regular standard blue. So now I have the slipcover for this, and it's one of their soft touch slipcovers. It's kind of textured. Really nice there. Let's see. I thought I had one more trade. Maybe not. Okay, let's just go over the regular pickups. I talked about these guys a couple videos ago. I am not seeing enough love for them online, and they are one of the most, we'll say, budget-friendly boutique labels that have a subscription model that is not Vinegar Syndrome. So if you are not familiar with them, Oscilloscope Labs is a boutique label that has a program, we'll say, called the Circle of Trust. You pay $100 and you get their next 10 Blu-ray releases shipped to you. $100 covers shipping, covers everything. It's $100, and they are fantastic. The two that I just got from them are Silo, and this is a fairly modern movie. What is the year on this again? This is 2019. This sounds terrifying, first of all. This is inspired by true events. Silo follows a harrowing day in American farm town. Disaster strikes when teenage Cody becomes the victim of a grain entrapment accident. Family, neighbors, and first responders must put aside their differences to rescue him from drowning in the 50-foot-tall silo where corn quickly turns into quicksand. Shedding light on an issue plaguing rural America, Silo shows how dangerous modern farming can be while also highlighting the ways in which communities band together to look after one another. And that sounds amazing. I love it. I cannot wait to see this. This is probably going to be one I'm watching soon. This also has a short documentary and 2 panel discussions, a documentary featurette, and the trailer. This is one that I would certainly look into. If you could, I will probably be reviewing that one soon. But the one that I was looking forward to for a long time, which I think will interest quite a few people on here, is the movie called Truth to Power. Let's see if I can get the glare of the lights off of there. This is the revolutionary message of System of a Down's Serj Tankian. This is millions fill stadiums across the world for the sound of Serj Tankian, the Grammy-winning lead singer of System of a Down. With exclusive interviews, adventures, and original footage personally filmed by Serj, Truth to Power allows audiences backstage access to an international rock star whose faith in music not only revolutionized heavy metal, but also world events. And they do such great work with this. There are special features, including deleted scenes, a video featuring human rights lawyers, and the trailer. But then out of nowhere, they do cool things like this. They threw in a Truth to Power concert ticket, which is a real perforated concert ticket. Obviously, there's no actual concert, but just something cool to include as part of a souvenir with it. And it's got their branding on it and Serj and all of that. And then they also threw in Oscilloscope Labs guitar picks. Funny enough, they sold these as on their website, and you can get I think 10 of them for like $4, something like that. There's a couple in here for free. I'd already bought the guitar picks from them because I play guitar, so I had purchased just to support with one of my packages. But that's amazing. It's a music documentary, so of course include it. I love when companies will go the extra mile for something like that. Let's see. I had an order from Orbit DVD this week. I was waiting for a long time for a US release of the Basket Case trilogy. I already had the original Basket Case from Arrow, but I wanted to see part 2 and 3. They had this for super cheap. And this is, I believe, region free. Yes, region free. So if you're looking into the entire trilogy, Orbit DVD has been stocking these very, very often. And yes, John and Angel, I will get you in contact. Angel, let me know if you got it, and I'll get you John's contact. If you want Basket Case, Orbit DVD. They've also had second run's release of Beauty and the Beast. This is one that has been getting a lot of attention lately. This includes a 20-page booklet with new writing on the film by author and film historian. And this is one with some, let me see if I can get the glare out of here, some really striking visuals in this one. There we go. Really exciting. I think this one is, no, this one's region free as well. Thought that one was locked. A lot of second run ones are locked. And then the last one in, no, there was one more. Two more from Orbit DVD. I got the Shameless release of The Psychic from Lucio Fulci. This is supposedly nearly identical to the Scorpion release of The Psychic. However, this does have, let's see how they actually speak on it here. This new edition of The Psychic has been extensively restored from new 2K scan materials to show Fulci's gem like never before. I'm very interested in comparing the two of these and seeing how much of a difference they've been able to do. Shameless, historically, man, I cannot open this. Shameless has been a company that, with a name like Shameless, has been easy to make fun of. That's probably the best way to say that. Shameless, a lot of great work. A lot of their releases have had no restoration work done on them. It is just something that they got the rights to release and not necessarily anything else. So they've released things that many other companies maybe would not have even released because they look so bad. But a lot of people love them for the packaging fanatics. They come in yellow Blu-ray cases. So if you're ever looking for an abundance of yellow, ooh, I got a floating disc in there. Ooh. Looks good. That's one reason to maybe look into them, but they've got some titles that others do not have. For example, I believe one of the best ways to see The House with Laughing Windows is the Shameless DVD. Not many other ways to see that one. But The Psychic is a big name title that they're pushing as part of Shameless right now. So you're probably going to be hearing more and more about that one. I also got from Orbit, I believe this is the last one from Orbit, from RLGAE, and it's a Shudder original. This is Stay Out of the Attic. I do have Shudder, but this is one that I have heard great things about, and I do not mind having the actual physical copy, because you never know when it's going to be pulled. And then from a Facebook group, I got a couple to beef up my 88 film slasher classics collection. If Matt is out there watching, here's two more to add to it. I got their release of Slaughterhouse Rock. This is a classic. And then if you've never seen the slasher, this one is very underrated in my opinion. I got Just Before Dawn. This was also put out by Code Red in the US. This movie is very unique, really well done. I love the art on this 88 Films release. That is the slip. And then this is the classic art that most people understand and remember from years and years ago. 88 Films consistently doing great work on their slasher classics. Really fun line. Unfortunate that they've had to change a few of their packaging issues due to their supplier for red cases running out. My trash pickup for the week. I love me some Nicolas Cage, and this was on sale on Amazon. I got Lord of War in 4K. Love that movie, but anything with Cage in 4K, I will own. And then these are my final two, other than Vinegar Syndrome. From Shout Factory, my pre-orders came in for the two Leica films from August. We've got the Box Trolls, brand new, nice slipcover, and this does have a ton of new special features. So this has new Inside Leica discovering the characters of the Box Trolls, featuring never before seen test footage, revisiting the puppets with Leica's animation team, new feature-length storyboards, new character concept art and behind-the-scenes photo galleries, plus an audio commentary and the making of the Box Trolls. Superb release. Can't wait to see it. That's one I'm going to be showing my kids here soon. But then the other Leica one, probably going to wait a year or two more to show them. The other one that came out in August is Coraline. This is one of my favorites. I'm sure a lot of you love this one as well. Super great movie. But again, lots of new special features. In discovering the characters of Coraline, never before seen test footage, revisiting the puppets, concept, character art, behind the scenes photo galleries, audio commentary, making of, deleted scenes, it goes on and on. These are really nice releases. And this one right now on Amazon, as far as I remember, $14.96 for a brand new stacked release of Coraline, one of the best animated movies of the last 20 years, in my opinion. I wouldn't hesitate to pick that up. 15 bucks. But now the big boy. So, subscriber to Vinegar Syndrome, and I usually get the partner releases if I can. This is one where I did get the partner releases and also picked up some slipcover protectors, which is why the box is so big. Usually it's half this size or less. Really good month, in my opinion, from Vinegar Syndrome, which is much better than what I expected. I expected the Cardona Collection Volume 2, which I'm sure we're getting in September. I'm not real stoked on that one. But they pretty much have to release it now after what they've done with the packaging for the Cardona Collection Volume 1. So let's pull these out and see what we've got. First one I am seeing is Girls' School Screamers. Love the art. I love that that is shining there, and it is glossy finish. Here's the back of it, the finishing school that finished them off. Again, the fork is glossy there. I do wish, however, yes, I wish this was the art that they went with on the slipcover. This is one that was a Trauma title. This is a title I'm very much looking forward to showing my wife, seeing what she thinks of that. Let's see. Most of these are partner releases. We've got the next Vinegar Syndrome title, Tough Guys Don't Dance. Really leaning heavily on the Canon title here. Here is the back. This is one I have been looking forward to for a while. There's the inside. Lots of features on here too. Additional information, newly scanned and restored in 2K from 35mm interpositive. You don't have to make me any nuttier. Brand new interview with actor Wings Hauser, shooting in, when I say Hauser, Wings Hauser, shooting in Helltown. Brand new interviews with cinematographer John Bailey. My Dad in Motion, an interview with Michael Mailer, son of director Norman Mailer. A crazy, wild, spooky movie. Brand new interview with J. Michael Lennon, Norman Mailer's archivist and biographer. And an archival featurette, Norman Mailer in Provincetown, theatrical trailer, reversible artwork, and subtitles, of course. Tough Guys Don't Dance is whack. Come on, Eric. My big one for the month, though, this is one that I'd seen years ago that is a genuinely great movie. I know a lot of people are upset with the schlock Vinegar Syndrome does sometimes. I love Terminal Island. If you've never seen it, I would get Terminal Island soon. Really good looking art on this one. Happy with what they went with. This is the back. Mad Dog Killers, Men and Women, Black and White, Taken from Death Row. Really nice packaging, but the big reason to get it, of course, it's 4K. Terminal Island in 4K is something I never thought I would see. This is just fantastic. Here's the back here. Terminal Island comes with a bunch of special features. This is, of course, including a brand new extended interview with co-writer and director Stephanie Rothman. From Hartman to Carmen, brand new interview with Eni Hartman, crash landing on Terminal Island, and a whole bunch more. Their 4Ks are amazing. If you've never seen Vinegar Syndrome 4Ks, they all come from the parent company OCN, which stands for Original Camera Negative. And just like Tammy and the T-Rex and the Beastmaster and Six String Samurai and Deadly Games, their 4K looks astonishing. Eric says, sorry, used the wrong word. Loved it when I saw it decades ago. Yes, it is a great one. I assume most people are going to be discovering it now because they've probably never seen it. A few more here. These are some partner label releases. Art on this one looks great because it looks very textured. This is Beats. This is not a music documentary, and this one is coming from Music Box Films. There's the inner art. This is a more modern film than I expected from them. Here's the back. I really need to fix this glare. This one sounds super interesting. Scotland in 1994, Jono and Spanner are best mates with a shared love for electronic dance music and polar opposites destined for wildly different futures. Straight-laced Jono is leaving town for a middle-class life with his mother and cop stepdad, Robert, while Spanner is facing a dead end with his unhinged criminal brother, Fido. When they learn of an unsanctioned underground rave, they decide to sneak out for one last crazy night together, set against the backdrop of the Criminal Justice and Public Order Act of 1994, which banned gatherings featuring music with repetitive beats across the UK. Beats is a universal story of friendship, rebellion, and the irresistible power of music. Exactly the type of movie I love. Cannot wait to see this one. As soon as I read that synopsis, I had to pick it up. This one looks great. And Music Box has been doing some really good releases for them. Okay, VSA next. This is one that a lot of people laughed at. And let's see, number on here. Ooh, I got a really high number this time. 2076 or 2070, one of the two. This is Whatever It Takes. This is the art that Vinegar Syndrome is going with. That is Fred Williamson and Don Wilson and Andrew Dice Clay looking all old there in the middle. And then here he is actually in a still from the movie. This is one that, oh, wow, interesting. Vinegar Syndrome put the poster on the outside rather than in the movie this time. This is one that is getting a newly scanned and restored in 4K from the 35 millimeter original negative. Brand new interview with actor Don Wilson and a brand new interview with Fred Williamson. Here to be honest, I'm not as excited about this one, primarily because what has happened with Fred Williamson over the last couple of years. I know through a guy, I know a few people in the music scene in Texas, and Fred Williamson supposedly, while filming VFW with Joe Begos, did not have the best behavior. And I won't go too much more into detail there. And it's not like I'm for cancel culture in the Twitter sense of the word, but it's just one that, I don't know, turns me off to it a little bit. But one that I'm not turned off to in any way. This movie looks insane. This is one, if you're interested, you can watch the entire movie on YouTube for free tonight, right now. It is put up by the director. This is Commando Ninja. I would show the trailer here if I could, but the trailer is, first off, 3.5 minutes long, has plenty of nudity, heads exploding. This movie looks fantastic. Super low budget. And if you have ever wanted to see as many genres as you could fit into a single movie, this is the one. So the tagline on the front says 50% Commando, 50% Ninja, 100% American. Doesn't get a whole lot better than that. This release looks great. They were also selling, I think they might be sold out now, but they were also selling an LP of the soundtrack for this one. And then a few more here. This is Psycho Sisters. This is one that is coming from Saturn's Core. This is part of the Wave Productions, the group where you could pay and have them produce an entire movie for you. I've never looked at other slipcovers and seen this before. I don't know if I can show this. This is the first one I've seen. There's art on the inside there. Interesting. Anyways, this one looks really good. The documentary that they just released is a perfect companion piece for this. So anything featuring the Wave Productions is going to go a long way for me. And Saturn's Core is doing really good work. I'm going to save that one for last because that was my most exciting title. Let's do this one next. This, oh man, that back slip, I forgot. This is Auntie Lee's Meat Pies. If that just doesn't get you excited looking at that, this might be the wrong channel. Because, yeah, that's exploitation at its finest. But to take it a step further, I mean, that's a pretty good slip. Rolling pin covered in blood with everything else there is just a bonus. The art on this one is eye-catching enough, but this includes special features expressed with less, an interview with actor Michael Berryman, who is, of course, famously from The Hills Have Eyes. I'm a big fan of Michael's. I met him a couple years ago in 2019 at CryptoCon here in Kansas City. Bunch of other special features. This one also looks great. And the art there is, look at that, there you go, glossy. Another partner label release. This is one that some people had already. This is from Altered Innocence. This is Lose. There is the inner art that got famous a couple years ago when they released it. This is a bigger and more modern title. This came out originally in 2018. Pretty modern. This is supposed to be a great movie. I can't wait to see this one. I'm glad I waited and have it in this really nice edition now. Then we have another Altered Innocence. This is a Dim Valley. This is an entire glossy slipcover, and the title on the front is embossed. This is all raised there. Very interesting. And then on the inside, it is very similar artwork. The floating heads above the title is the main difference there. And this one is a curmudgeonly biologist and his slacker graduate students muddle their way through a summer research project. Deep in the Appalachian woods, they encounter a group of mystical backpackers who disrupt their lives in beautiful and surprising ways. Part hilarious stoner comedy and part transcendental meditation on mysticism and love, A Dim Valley is a delightful, ethereal journey into the cycle of love. This one is going to be a lot of fun, guaranteed. All right, let me see from this one what I'm allowed to show on here. Not a whole lot. Well, this one. This looks clean. This is the Peakorama title for this month. This is Phantasm and Phantasm Comes Again. This is their pair of adult titles. Lots to go over on the back. It is a double feature, and there is a combined 3 hours and 5 minutes between them. One is 87 minutes, one is 98 minutes. These are both Blu-ray worldwide debuts for both of the films, newly restored in 2K. Really good package. They always have great releases for their Peakorama titles. The slip is, it's a good one. It's on their site. I'm sure you can see it. And then the last title that I was most excited about, I love AGFA, and this is She Freak. This is one that a lot of people have been talking about over the last month. Here is the back. She Freak coming may blow your mind. Let's see if they have the original art, which they do. This one, fed up with waitressing, Jade Cochran embarks on a new life with a traveling carnival, but she discovers that what lurks behind the curtain doesn't take too kindly to her backstabbing plans. A gutter noir reworking of Todd Browning's Freaks and a Valentine to the carnival lifestyle that defined the career of producer David F. Friedman. She Freak is a snapshot of life, love, and revenge on the grounds of a seedy carnival in small town USA, complete with crackpot monster makeup effects from Harry Thomas, who did Plan 9 from Outer Space. Like Devo's music and Ed Wood's novel, She Freak creates a synthetic reality that is often preferable to our own. AGFA and Something Weird are beyond excited to present a dazzling 4K restoration of this essential weirdo classic. Can't wait to see this one. This is one I do love Todd Browning's Freaks. If you've never seen it, it's obviously difficult to find right now. I don't think it is anymore. It was on the Criterion channel for a while. I don't understand how we haven't gotten a really nice release of that one yet. The rumor is Criterion had it and it was supposed to be coming hopefully soon, is all I can say. Maybe they were waiting to go 4K. It's one that would look great in 4K. That is all of the new things I've got. That was quite a lot, though. Anybody have any questions or anything to go over? Anything they're excited about? Don't want to leave anybody hanging here. It's been a really good week, I think. More pickups than normal for me. I usually don't get this many. Looking forward to next week. We've got a lot of announcements coming. Tomorrow morning, we're getting Arrow announcements. The rumor right now is that we're getting the Phantom of the Mall announcement finally. And Mill of the Stone Women from Arrow announced tomorrow. Don't quote me on that, but that is current speculation. We are also getting, before we meet again, we're going to be getting announcements from Vinegar Syndrome for the month of September, which, since it's already September, I'm willing to bet they're going to be letting some of the information about their pre-sale for the Black Friday sale. That information is probably going to be coming out either this week or next, and they're going to start ramping up the promotion for that and doing one of their giveaways and everything else. It's going to be a busy time. So much coming out the next few months. So much to envy. So much to want. So much to look forward to. Really good list of releases this week, though. If there's anything else I can do, let me know. Otherwise, this is probably going to be it. Look out for that new video tomorrow. Got a couple more coming next week, already up and ready to go, uploaded. If you have any other questions or anything you'd like to see a video for, let me know down in the comments. If you're watching this later, thanks for catching up with us. Like I said, the merch link is in the description. If you have any questions, comments, I'm always here to chat. Thanks for building a community with me. And from one collector to all of you, have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. I genuinely appreciate it.